Hey guys, it's Caitlin here, and in today's video we're going to be building a wood storage cart. I can't wait to get started. This is the last step for me to get my wood scraps organized, so that way when I'm in the middle of a project, I can find that piece that I'm looking for. So if you have that same problem, stick around and watch this video. You also may want to check out my last video with my wood storage racks for the wall. It'll be linked here or in the description below. Let's get started. So today I will be using 2 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood. So let's dive right in. Today I'm also going to need 3 8-foot 2x4s to complete this project. This is the first time that I've drawn up plans and figured out all the dimensions on papers. So I'm not sure what kind of problems I'm going to run into, but I expect to run into problems. I plugged in all of my dimensions and into OptiCut, so I have my cut list. I'm going to be using my track saw today to break down my sheets of plywood, so it's going to be fun.
Step 1 was assembling the base. So after I got my 2x4s cut, I got started on that. I'm building this base 48 by 32 inches, and I picked this size because that's what works for my shop and it fits perfect in the space that it's going in.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Now it's time to start breaking down my plywood with my track saw, so I'm setting these runner boards in place. Little pro tip here, I'm setting the depth, but I got a little excited and I forgot to put the saw track underneath, so I had realized after my first cut that it wasn't deep enough and I had to go back over it again after I reset my height.
Ten and a half wide.
Need an extra strawberry saw.
Oh. Oh, this is the best ice cream you have ever made.
I just saw you like it.
There you go. Thank you.
It felt so good to start attaching my first piece of plywood. I used 2-inch trim screws for all of the plywood parts on this wood cart. Here you see me using a straight edge. I just used it to align with my middle 2x4 supports underneath, so that way I know I'm sinking my screws into the right spot. Base is complete, and now it's time for a dance party. Alright, back to work. So here I am, I'm just measuring 12 inches on opposite sides Using my straight edge, I make my pencil line and cutting directly on the pencil line. I wasn't overcomplicating anything here. I did cautiously cut all of my plywood pieces because I wasn't sure if I 100% trusted myself that all the dimensions were correct from the beginning, but I never ran into any problems with that. Now I started using my router and making a rabbet and grooves on the pieces that needed them. Everything that I use in today's video will be linked in the description below. I put both side walls here together and clamp them on the table so that way I can make one continuous groove and make sure that nothing was misaligned in the end. Now it was time to start assembling the sides, which was pretty exciting. And another little pro tip here, as you may be able to tell, I did number my pieces of plywood as I went. When I printed out the sheets from OptiCut, I numbered each one, and as I cut them on the track saw, I put the numbers on the plywood. I don't always get to work on things continuously, so I wanted to be able to come back, find the pieces that I was looking for without having to measure each one, and then you just don't have a whole stack of plywood sitting there and you're like, what's what? So here you're gonna see me run into my first big problem and work very hard at trying to get this piece of plywood to slide in. I did try to loosen the screws on the end, and that really didn't help much. It was an extremely tight fit. The bit that I used to do the grooves was a 23/32 rabbeting bit, which is the thickness of the plywood, and I'm sure there were several factors that came into play here, but it just was not working. After finally getting it to slide into place and attached, I had my husband, aka camera guy for this video, help me to lift it off the table. Now I'm going to cut the angles for my last pieces. These are the dividers that go in the slots for the wood cart that are going to keep the wood separated. But I'm going to do something a little bit different on these because I had so much trouble on the last piece of plywood sliding in. I'm going to use my router with a rabbeting bit, and I'm going to take a pass on all sides, and this is just going to allow me to slide that piece of wood in easier, and I'm not going to have to work so hard. So now I'm just finishing up, and this last piece here is going to support my back piece of plywood. This is going to be the place where my smaller pieces of plywood cutoffs or MDF is going to slide in and be stored.
The last piece. Thanks for sticking around and watching this video. Had a few bumps along the way, but got it all figured out. If you found value in this video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all my latest projects, tips, or to be inspired. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's time for me to now fill up this wood cart. See you next time!